Brent Rooker first, because Brent Rooker is a very interesting one. We obviously got to see him fully on display when the A's came to town, and we got to see them go up against the Phillies. Very frustrating prior to the All-Star break, and Brent Rooker was one of those frustrating pieces. He's got 3 years of arbitration. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2028, which feels so long away. He is slashing a 291, 375, 78. He's got 93 hits. 45 of them are extra base hits. 23 home runs, 69 RBIs. Jamie, don't say it. A .948 OPS, and he's only played in 14 games. He's only played 14 games in the outfield in 2024. I think of all these stats, the most important one is that one at the bottom. We saved the best for last. 14 games that we've seen Brent Rooker play in the outfield this season. 14. We've seen more games in the outfield for, I don't know, I'm just going to make a bad joke, but point is, it's not a lot of games in the outfield.
It's only a handful more than Kyle Schwarber, if you want to put it that way.
I was going to make a point of who have we seen less? It's right around the same number as Kyle Schwarber. So for Brent Rooker, who is a guy that has a lot of buzz around him on the rumor mill, apparently he's high up there. It's because he's a guy that with his at-bats, a young team, they're saying, would want to build around. He hit 30 home runs, obviously, last year. Of course, we already just looked at the numbers for this year. Even looking at his arbitration eligibility, and then for the next 3 years, he turns 30 in November, and he is someone that the A's are probably going to look to move because they are in this rebuild phase. But as we know, for the Phillies, it makes sense offensively, for sure. It doesn't make sense for a guy that's only played 14 games in the outfield this season.
Yeah, if this guy played even a slightly below average field, I would say he's the perfect fit. But the last thing the Phillies need is another DH candidate / maybe first baseman. He can't really play the field. I don't want to go back to the days of Rhys Hoskins in left field and Kyle Schwarber in left field. We have a competent left fielder, at least defensively. And I think with this pitching staff and this bullpen, putting the best defense behind them is important. I think to go from Brandon Marsh to Brent Rooker just doesn't make sense. Plus the 3 years of control ups what you're going to have to pay to get for him. Offensively, he would be a perfect fit, but I think it just doesn't make sense for the Phillies. I am curious where he goes. He would be a great DH type for a lot of teams, but I don't think anybody wants to trade for him to play the field unless you're absolutely desperate. I don't see it being a fit. I'd be shocked.
Yeah, I would be really shocked. It wouldn't really make sense. Plus, it's not like you can bring him in a role where he can pinch hit for you or something. This is a guy that wants to be an everyday, that wants a team to build around him.
No, a 30-plus home run guy isn't going to be a bench piece.
That's the thing. There's no role that even fits for him because he can't be a DH. He can't play left field. He can't be, if you were going to just bring in a guy that can give you a good at bat that you have, that you can call out of the dugout when needed as a pinch hitter, that's one thing, but that's not Brent Rooker. So there's no checking all the boxes. He fits none of them. He checks no boxes.
He has no nickname either. So do you really want to bring in somebody without a nickname?
We give nicknames here. Brenty.
Rookie?
Rookie.
No.
Not for a guy, not for a guy that's 30 years old.
Because with the 3 years of arbitration control, that's going to cost you. For a team that doesn't have a true DH, you can go get this kid. It's not going to cost you a lot of financial money over the next 3 years. There's a lot of teams he makes sense for. The Phillies are not one of them.
Yeah, Ray Schumacher saying in the chat if they want to pair Rooker with Mason Miller. But again, what do you do with Brent Rooker?
Well, then you're giving up Kaba. Right. You're giving up Crawford, perhaps Abel.
Probably.
For that type of package, plus another one or two lower level guys.
So I know we're talking mostly with him being a DH. So let me ask you, a team that lost a guy that was, was playing splitting between the outfield and the DH, potentially lost this guy for the year. I feel like the Milwaukee Brewers makes a lot of sense for a Brent Rooker. A team pushing for a division title, a team we didn't think was going to be this good. They've clearly overperformed expectations. Now, we know that they don't like to spend a ton of prospect depth because they aren't super fond of paying guys. But I feel like a team that just lost Christian Yelich potentially for the entire year. The Brewers make a ton of sense for a Brent Rooker. If we're looking around the league at teams that could use the services of a true everyday DH, Milwaukee seems to make sense to me.
Yeah, that would make some sense.